Maido! Hi there, Japan fans. In today's show, we're going to talk about material selection for our presentation. Preseno Master Shimasho. This is the 5th year of the Presentation Japan Series podcast. We're beaming around the world to you from sunny Minato-ku here in Tokyo. And I'm your host, Dr. Greg Story, Dale Carnegie Tokyo franchise owner, the president of Dale Carnegie Tokyo Training, and the 3-time best-selling author of Japan Sales Mastery, Japan Business Mastery, and Japan Presentations Mastery. And I have a new book in Japanese called Zaegyo, and also very shortly you'll be able to get hold of my new book, which is called Stop Wasting Money on Training. Through this podcast, I want to help you become a better speaker who is clear, confident, persuasive, and highly influential with those around you. Don't forget to subscribe and share this podcast with your family, friends, and colleagues. We are not being sponsored by Libsyn, but we value your privacy, which is why we have our podcast hosted by Libsyn, who, unlike many other podcast hosts, have a strict policy that does not allow access to your private information by anyone. Here is our daily podcast lineup on iTunes. Mondays, the Cutting Edge Japan Business Show. Tuesdays, the Presentations Japan Series. Every second Tuesday, the Business Tatsujin no Shie Show. Wednesdays, the Sales Japan Series. Thursdays, the Leadership Japan Series. Every second Thursday, the Business Pro Podcast Show. Fridays, the Japan Business Mastery Show. And Saturdays, Japan's top business interviews. This is episode number 306. Today we're talking about what do I leave in and what do I take out. I am a hoarder. I never throw anything out. And this habit spills over into preparing for my presentations. I always keep previous presentations and I plunder earlier slides for content I can use for the next one. Topical content has a short shelf life, but other content, particularly images, can be used for many years. It's all well and good. However, it does have one serious drawback, and that is you face the dilemma of how much content to use and which content to select. Having given 548 public speeches so far, you would think I would have this problem under control by now. I'm a glutton, though, for data and cool images, and this sea of information gets harder and harder to swim through. Invariably, I select way too many slides. Trying to prune them, though, is tough because we can fall in love with the quality of our research or our numbers. The intentions are admirable. We want to deliver the highest quality content to our audience, and so the pruning shears are not being wielded vigorously enough. Dropping out slides has a certain amount of pain attached to it, so the discipline to do it is definitely required. We have to keep reminding ourselves of the time limit we face for the presentation. We get caught up in the logistics of slide selection, and other important aspects get missed. One of my pet peeves with presenters is when they have bitten off more than they can chew, and the last 20 slides are raced through or skipped at the end because they've messed up their time control. We feel cheated. Here is some valuable information being whizzed through, and we would like to know some more about these slides, but we never will. We are trading our time for value, yet, due to the speaker's ineptitude, we are not getting the full value of the transaction. So there are definitely brand damage elements to doing this, and we should avoid these every time. Another casualty is we spend all the time on the slides and nothing on the rehearsal. Here is the irony. If we had spent some time in rehearsal, we would have immediately realized we had too much material for the time allotted. This happened to me when I did my TED Talk. I'd prepared 8 chapters for that talk, but in rehearsal, I realized I had to axe the last couple of chapters or risk trying to rush it all through. One of the downsides of TED Talks is that they are shown globally, basically forever. If you make a mess of it, then that knowledge isn't limited to the 100 people in the room. As per a normal talk, it now goes out to millions who see what a dill you are. So rushing it through would be a bad choice, and cutting stuff out is the better option. Find out more. We come back from the break. Our show today is brought to you by our public programs, but we also do custom-made in-house classes. Now, we do them in our super safe classroom, we do them live online, and we do them in Japanese, and we do them in English. The show today is being brought to you by, on the 14th of October, we'll be doing our Winning with Relationships selling program. That's our sales program that takes you through how to get the trust, how to ask the questions, how to match up what you've got as a solution, how to deal with objections, how to close a sale, how to do prospecting, everything you need to know. Great program. On the 22nd of October, we're doing our Dale Carnegie course. That's our flagship program, which looks at leadership, communication, stress management, people skills, and basically mindset in terms of changing your mindset to be able to take on more and do it better. On the 2nd of November, we're doing our high impact presentations course, which is main presentations training. Excellent program. Come in one end, go out the other end, completely changed. Unbelievable program. 2 instructors, 2 days of the main modules, everything videoed. Phenomenal program. Check out our website at www.dale-carnegie, carnegie.co.jp. Lots and lots of value for you there. Now, to do better in Japan, email me at greg.story@dalecarnegie.com. Get my best-selling books, Japan Sales Mastery, that's the Bible for selling in Japan, and Japan Business Mastery, and my new book, Japan Presentations Mastery. If you like learning by watching videos, there are over 1,000 there for you at Tokyo, Japan, Dale Carnegie TV on YouTube. We release 3 TV shows every week on YouTube. The Cutting Edge Japan Business Show, which is the premier business show in Japan, comes out Mondays. Fridays, the Japan Business Mastery Show, and Saturdays, Japan's top business interviews, where I interview leaders in Japan from SMEs all the way up to the corporate captains of industry on one topic, leading in Japan. Every second Thursday, we release the Business Pro Television Show. Don't forget, you can email me at greg.story@dalecarnegie.com. Welcome back. So a lot of the time we are showing data because we feel this is valuable information for the audience. That means slide after slide of numbers, bar charts, pie charts, line graphs. This can get very dull very quickly. Also, we tend not to remember the tsunami of numbers either. So is there much point to doing it this way? Being more selective on some key numbers would make much more sense and would help cut down the pressure on time. Rather than just relying on visuals to make the point, we could use storytelling as well to really drive home the relevance of the numbers. Let me use an example of voice of customer scores. Say we are trying to highlight our positive reaction from our buyers for our product or service, and we're referring to scores out of 100. We could just show trend over time and make a comment about the direction of the trend. Additionally, we could add in a story about the numbers. If we had a number like 72% for the voice of customer score, on the face of it, that isn't particularly remarkable. We could make the comment that Japanese buyers are hard markers. Or we could go further and tell a story about the luxury goods industry in Japan, which has a permanent dilemma. When buyers in Japan are surveyed on their happiness, the scores are substantially below similar surveys in the rest of the world. Luxury goods companies initially thought they had a problem in Japan, but what they found was the scores for their firm's products and services were consistently lower than other markets. Ultimately, to make sense of the comparative scores, they started adding in up to 30% additional scores to compensate for the Japanese buyers' low scoring scale. So that miserable 72% score actually represented 93.6%, which was more in line with other surveys in other countries. It takes more time to tell a story like that rather than just showing a number like 72%. But the story is memorable, and people will remember that long after the talk is over. So we have to allow time to wrap some numbers up in stories in our talks, which means we have to axe other slide darlings. We're providing more value in this way because the audience will recall the key points more easily, and so the time trade-off is definitely worth it. So when you're thinking about creating your power collection of slides, stop right there. Instead, think about which slides lend themselves well to storytelling. Absolutely do the rehearsal to be able to gauge how much time you will have available to show the slides and tell the stories. If you do that, then the whole presentation will accentuate your personal and professional brands. Thank you for joining the Presentations Japan series. If you got value from today's show, spread the love around and share it with your family, friends, and colleagues. Don't forget to subscribe and share this podcast. Immediately apply what you have learned today, use it, and go out there and become a presentations legend. Remember, I'm your corporate coaching and training guy in your corner, committed to your success here in Nippon.